Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be doing a plan with me in my Erin Condren vertical life planner. I will be using this Christmas kit from Glam Planner that I picked up during a Misfit sale. I've already used some pieces from the kit because I coordinate my spreads between this and my print impression planner. If you want to check that out, you can check out Plan with Ashley Lynn on TikTok. I'll also post my finished spreads on my Instagram, also at Plan with Ashley Lynn. So today I will be talking about Christmas with you. So for the month of December, while I do my plan with me's, I'll also be chatting about different Netflix Christmas movies. Last week I talked about Falling for Christmas with Lindsay Lohan and Cord Overstreet. I think that's his name. Up on my channel, you can check it out. It was my last video posted, but today I will be talking about Christmas with You with Freddie Prinze Jr. So let's lay down the basic spread and get chatting. So, if Falling for Christmas was overboard at Christmas, then this movie, Christmas with You, would be Marry Me at Christmas, the recent film with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. I have not seen Marry Me yet, so I can't really compare the two, but from my understanding of just watching the trailer, it looks somewhat similar. I will also say I will probably get the name of this movie wrong if I haven't already, because all Christmas movies have the most nondescript names, just some type of Christmas and love adjective included in them, so I mix them up all the time. But I believe the movie we're talking about today is Christmas with You. As for my thoughts on the movie, I will say that I found the movie to be cute, overall good. It wasn't obviously the best storytelling. It is not a Oscar movie, but for a Christmas Hallmark movie, I found it cute, fun, maybe you could call it. Overall, I actually really like the main characters, and I don't remember any names. I like their relationship. I found their relationship to be fun. And their chemistry was pretty fun. When I say fun, I don't mean funny. I didn't really find the movie funny, but I thought it was fun. I didn't hate myself while watching that, I can say. I think they could have maybe made the connection a bit better just with storytelling. I think the actors and actresses themselves were pretty good, but I thought just the story itself was missing a lot. So I thought if they kind of expanded on the script a bit more, that would have helped kind of solidify their connection. I will say though that I also thought it was a bit weird in the sense, like, I feel like there's a big age gap between the two of them. I don't know if that's just because I associate Freddie Prinze Jr. with the 90s, and the 90s were like 30 years ago, and so I see this woman who looks young, and I'm like, well, that was 30 years ago, like, what's the difference here? I don't know. So to me, it actually seems like they have a big age difference, but I might be completely wrong on that. I will say the movie, I actually really like the main actress, and I'm so sorry I don't know your name. I am gonna look it up and learn your name because I was so impressed with her. I mean, she was working already with like a not great character development and not great script, but I feel like I really liked your character, and I think that speaks to your acting ability, especially because why I decided to watch this movie was because of Freddie Prinze Jr. And Freddie Prinze Jr. still did, I think, a great job in the movie, but I feel like she really stood out against him, and again, I think that speaks to her ability as an actress to stick out against him. I'm finding overall, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm getting old, but I'm finding Hallmark movies are getting better. Again, maybe I'm just getting old. I recently saw a thread on Reddit about talking about like frontal, like brain development. Your frontal lobe develops after 25, and all the comments, like someone's like, did you notice a difference? Like, I'm 22 now, have you noticed a difference? And people are like, yeah, just one day I started liking like DIY channels and house renovation channels and drinking seltzer water. And I'm like, oh, I feel that. Like, I'm not that far from 22, but I feel like there's a difference. And maybe that difference is now I like Hallmark movies. But, I don't know. Overall, I do think they are getting better. Especially the main, like, female protagonists of stories. I feel like they really used to, like, turn her into a caricature and villainize her. Especially because she was, like, a mean woman from the city who had a job and didn't want a family, and that was bad. And now I think they do a good job of humanizing her and making her less, I don't know, less horrible. I mean, still, it feels like the main purpose is that, you know, she needs to come down to earth, and coming down to earth and finding her purpose and meaning is finding a family, but so in terms of that hasn't changed, but overall I find it is a bit better. I'm debating whether I want to do glitter headers at the top or glitter on the boxes. I think glitter headers on the boxes. And so I think they're getting a bit better. Again, like I said, I wish I kind of fleshed out her story a bit more. So, like, for example, throughout the movie, we see her character go through a change, and that change is starting to eat food and changing the clothes she wears. And so I guess that means that she's changed and she's a new person, but we don't actually get that, like, story-wise. Like, no character arc at all. So I don't know. I think they could have, you know, drawn out some nuances with the story. Like, I think there's a way to draw it out without making her a character. I also was confused story-wise why she was staying with Ricardo. Like, that didn't make sense to me. I assume it was for popularity because he was a telenovela star, which I did not put together till he came to the house. But it wasn't actually said anywhere. That's why. Like, ever. Or, I don't know, maybe I just missed it, to be honest. I was probably half paying attention during this movie. I find it hard to, like, fully engage in movies, and usually I have to, like, craft at the same time, so it is very possible I missed it. But to me, I don't think there is really much story driving why she was staying with him. And why he was, like, really he interrupted the relationship. I'll get a bit more into that, but later. But yeah, I didn't really understand why. I will say, though, what I liked about this and why I think Hallmark movies are getting better is they're slowly, not fully, but slowly challenging some of their stereotypes. So I really liked it, and it was like a very small point. And again, it wasn't really developed at all, but I really liked that Cherie, who was supposed to be like the evil villain of the story, turned out to not be, and turned out to be a big supporter of the main girl. And really, it was, like, Barry, the boss, who was kind of the problem, although they didn't really expand on that much. But I really like that trope of, I don't know, that it really kind of challenged that trope of the evil woman enemy who's trying to take over, as if there's not, like, room for two famous women, but still acknowledging, like, it's morally challenging the industry itself than the actual woman in the industry. And so I like that. I also loved when the Freddie Prinze Jr.'s mother said, so they had their conflict, which was not at all a conflict, but they had their conflict and couldn't be together. And the grandma said that it's not complicated, and that's exactly how I felt. Because, again, it might have just been the poor writing, but, like, I'm like, this, your main conflict, why you can't be together, is that it isn't a conflict. Like, it didn't make sense to me at all. Like, he said it was because he was, like, a dad and couldn't be there, but I'm like, I don't know. He said a lot of things. He also said it was because Saturday Night Live fell on the quinceanera, but, like, is that why you couldn't be together? Like, can't you still be together and miss this? Like, can you still be together and not tour with her? Like, I don't understand. Like, I imagine you can't, but, like, it wasn't drawn out at all. So that's why I was really confused about the conflict, and why I loved it when the grandma was like, there is no conflict. Just go be with her. I will say, though, what should have been the conflict is when he told her he didn't want to go on stage. Like, he didn't even perform in front of his classroom. And then she called him on stage in front of everyone to come on up and perform. Like, can you imagine? Like, you don't even perform in front of people, and you confide in this in your partner, and they're like, nah, come up in front of everyone, and I'm gonna do this on the spot, not even like telling you ahead of time, on the spot, so you can't say no, and make you perform. It's not even like a group of high school students. It's literally in front of like famous recording artists and people, and see what they think of you. That should have been the conflict. Because nothing would give me more anxiety than that. Overall, though, I like the movie. I obviously thought it was cheesy, as they always are. Especially because, I don't know, the ending of the movie ended with him being like, I did it for love. Like, why he did all of this, why he did the recording song, was he did it for love. Although that literally happened the first night they met each other. So I have no idea where that came from. No point before did they, like, really meet each other other than having dinner. So yeah, no idea where that came from. That should have been drawn out a bit more, because they didn't really build up their relationship beforehand. I also want to, like, I need to get, like, bingo cards. Like, I've seen, like, bingo cards for Hallmark movies, and, like, seeing all the tropes, especially, like, the dead parent tropes. Like, I don't get that at all. Why always there's a dead parent? Like, I want, like, are there Hallmark movies where, like, the dad who has this child is, like, divorced? And, like, you know, they learn to co-parent together. How sweet. Like, why are they always dead? Is it just to, like, I think it's just to give, like, sympathy to the guy and be like, look, he's a parent. So, and also, I guess usually the main character has a dead parent, because that's the only way we can empathize with a woman who hates Christmas. I mean, to be fair, I do know, like, if you lose a parent, it does make the holidays hard, but I just don't get it. It's like, it's never even, like, drawn out well that you actually, like, you actually see characters develop and, like, deal with their trauma of having a dead parent and grief. Instead, it's just, like, this side plot line to somehow give context into the motivations without being drawn out. I don't know. It's a weird trope for me, and I don't really get it. I will say also, just the movie overall, one thing I felt, and I don't know, maybe this is what made me connect with the character, the main character, but I feel for her for having so much anxiety about writing a new song. Not that I'm a songwriter, but in terms of work, that she decided to leave town. Because avoidance anxiety is very real. And so, man, that made me, I was like, oof, I feel that. Overall, though, I found the movie extremely enjoyable. Maybe extremely enjoyable for a Hallmark movie, I will say that. Some Hallmark movies, and again, maybe it's just, I don't know, some Hallmark movies I find really dry, and, like, they're hard to get through, this was okay to get through. It was not a good movie if you compare it to other movies. But for a Hallmark movie, I enjoyed it. I will say it's not very, like, funny, but it is fun. And I think what kind of helps is the two main characters' chemistry. I think that's what helps the movie. I think if it was missing that, it would be a lot harder to get through, because I think that's why the movie, I don't know, it kept me interested. I think I'm struggling with comparing it to Falling for Christmas. There's aspects I like more than that, and aspects I didn't. So I liked the romance better. I found them a better couple, but I like the cheesy bad humor of Falling for Christmas. I thought that was well done. I thought the side story, although it was extremely ridiculous and childlike, helped kind of switch up the pacing of this romance movie, which this movie was kind of missing. It was just like romance straight through. So I like that aspects. I think maybe that one's going to be easier watched at Christmas time than this one, but overall I did like this one, and I thought they had better chemistry. So this is my finished spread. I might go add some foil after and maybe figure out what to do with these like empty boxes. I'm not quite sure yet. If you want to see the finished spread though, you can, as I said, you can follow me on Instagram and I'll post it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts about Christmas with You, please leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to talk about the movie more. And I will be doing one more plan with me for Planmas, hopefully next week for that movie. Ooh, that movie is going to be special. It is the Knoll Diaries. I forget. It is the movie on Netflix that has the guy from This Is Us. And I think that'll be a special treat, because by the trailer, it looks nothing fun-like. It looks like it's going to be a horribly sappy and dry movie, but it also looks kind of weird how it's going to go. So I'm interested to see how that movie goes, but I think it might be harder to get through. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and happy holidays.